everyone, to one and all present over there. I am Anishka and I have wrote this paper in the guidance of Mahesh Kumar T and Pallavi Pandey. These are my faculties from Christ University from Department of Commerce. My topic is early retirement aspiration among Gen Zs. When I was going through a social media, I was looking at the reels and I've saw that many Gen Zs are taking early retirement. So I was very confused. Either they don't want to work for a long time, or is it they do have a wealth strategies, or they have a too good financial knowledge, how they're imagining their future with early retirements and how they're preparing for the investments and all. And then this topic clicked in my mind. When I searched for reference paper, there was not too much papers about this. So I think this is the first research I ever done. So abstract, if I talk about my abstract, so there is so I've took the data of 187 Gen Zs. I have surveyed on the primary data, and these were the questions I've asked on wealth strategies, on financial behavior, financial knowledge, financial attitude, and a social influence. So I'm just trying to figure out what exactly influencing them to take a early retirements. And if I give introduction of my paper, it was the Gen Z significantly is difference. They think different about the money, work, and the retirements. So mainly maybe they are getting this through social networks, office, or social gatherings. Unlike older, like millennials, we talk about 60 and 50 age group who used to think taking retirement at 70 is also nice. But as a Gen Z, also, even I think I want to retire early and I want to strategize my wealth according to that. And yeah, there was a fire moment which says financial independency and early retirement. So this was my literature review, financial knowledge, widely recognized as a core factor. I feel this was the core factor which I was working, and then when I read some paper, which was written by Pandit and Shapati, and there was Kazol. What they say, access and comprehension. Basically, does financial knowledge predict fire, basically financial retirement? So there was some misleading to this paper as well. There was not always, if you're getting a good knowledge, you're always keen to do early retirements. Then there was a financial attitude. Here I have read behavioral life cycle hypothesis. It was very interesting theory when I read about this. It was like if your behavior is nice right now, like if you're doing good right now, you tend not to go a bad habits for a great future. So it was very long theory, but I have tried to read it, and yeah, it was very interesting. Basically, if you're doing good right now, you will do good in a future. You will be tend to stay away from a bad habits right now only. And then there was a financial behavior, disciplined behavior, and strong aspiration. It basically, if your behavior towards finance is very good, maybe you can get a early retirements. And then there was a wealth strategies. Uh, if you have a very good strategies. So some people, if I talk about SIPs and SWP, most people know what is SIP and most people doesn't know what is SWP. So basically, when I talk about SIP, you can systematic investments. So every time you put your money monthly basis, you get the interest and you take it out after 10 years or 20 years. What is SWP? So SWP is basically when you take out your money in a some small amounts, you also get the interest. That's how wealth strategies has been planned. So many people doesn't know about how to plan their finances and all. And if I talk about social influence, I feel this was most irrelevant. So we don't go for a social, mostly not for a social influence. There are many few people who go for this. I feel if I'm getting some knowledge from Instagram or from Facebook or from anyone from social through a social influence, it is a half knowledge. So we can't depend on a social influence. gap existing. I think I've already covered the gaps in previous only. So have a look if you focus on the traditional things only. And there was a conflict among financial knowledge and a financial behavior as well. So there was not very contradicted to each other. I feel there was financial knowledge, always having a financial knowledge doesn't change your financial behavior. If I do have a financial behavior of spending a lot, you can't change with the financial knowledge. And then there is a wealth strategies. So with many wealth strategies has not been discussed yet. And if I talk about social influence, it is in quantitative, not in qualitative, not in a psychology way. And this is my hypothesis. Sapphire is a dependent variable and everything is independent. So financial knowledge, financial attitude, financial behavior, and wealth strategies. And research methodology, I have taken a 187 students, Gen Zs, to do survey, and there was three generation I've took: 18 to 20, 21 to 23, and 24 to 25. The sample collection was 187, and income range I've took 10,000 to 25,000, and majority was on 10,000 to 25,000. And these were the measurements, and I've used the SPS statistics to analyze the correlation and regression among these, and this was the data only I've took, so you can see it. And this is a correlation. So if I see financial knowledge was moderate positive and financial attitude was weak. So if I talk about financial attitude, I feel like if you don't have a good attitude towards the financial investment, if you have lot of ick to spend. So towards a financial attitude, so that was weakly moderated. Like some people do it and some people doesn't give care about those things. Financial behavior was moderate positive. The financial behavior does tell us how we're gonna save for the retirements as well. And wealth strategy got the highest because many people do strategize their retirement plans, and social influence was the weakest. I already mentioned that we don't influence by social media because it's a half knowledge. These were the regression model. The highest I got for wealth strategy and financial knowledge was the medium. Financial attitudes was the weakest, moderate positive, and the social media was weakly, very not strong. And if I talk about the discussion, what I've did, action over awareness. So doing and knowing are the two different things. So basically, action over awareness, we do know the things. We know we have to invest here, we have to do, but exactly we do those things. We don't. So there was a very prominent discussion about those things. So basically about these financial education, but not beyond rising awareness. It must build habits and strategies. Until and unless you don't do it, you're not gonna know it. So it's about that. And there was a discussion I did on the wealth strategies, how this was the amongst strong predator, not just saving behavior, it strategy approach, early investment, or asset diversification comes in this. Early retirement becomes feasible when Gen Z shift mindset from saving to wealth creation. Implication financial education must shift to strategy making. And then there was a financial attitude. Lowest predicted, but Gen Z receive conflict signs, saving young or invest smartly. So it depends on their how they want to do it. And social influence was the least among them because mostly directly affect, it does not directly affect your retirement plans. Until unless you're not getting the full knowledge, you're not gonna do that. And I have a conclusion now. All five hypotheses I have concluded in a very well mannered. First, go wealth strategy. Second, financial behavior, financial knowledge, financial attitude, and last was the social influence. And if I talk about the implication and the recommendation I can do through this research paper, I think move beyond financial literacy to practical based. We know the knowledge, but we don't know how to use it. Redesign curriculum for awareness based strategy making educational programs, enable youngsters to create automated investment systems, diverse assets. So, for diverse assets, we can't put all eggs in a one basket. If I talk about those, you don't put your all investment in a one place, not in one place. You're diverse. You put in a FD, you put in a stock, you put some in bonds, and that's how you diversify your assets. It may be high risky and it may be low risky. It depends on you how much risk you want to take. And then we have a fintech platforms use promotes and nugget to convert fire aspiration into action, design habits. So if I talk about the fintech, we are in 0.3 right now. We are going to be in 0.4, which it will be AI driven technologies. Basically, it's about to come. So there can be apps who can just see your performance, how you spending, how you saving, so that apps can help to you. And yeah, this is the limitation in a future research. So this paper was the first time written by someone. There was no one talking about why agencies are taking early retirement. So there might be some limitations I'm able to find because I couldn't able to take a long data. I think 187 is a very short survey. There are a lot of Gen Zs right now, and everyone have a different perceptions in their mind. So I feel like a long survey and a great survey can make it more relevant to the study. And I think I can use the different models as well. I've only used the SPSS, which is for correlation and regression. So yeah, and the future study also multiply regression. We can take a I've did the group regression. We can take a single regression for each of the factors. And then yeah, longitudinal study, we can take a long of surveys. And these were the references I took. These all did talk about financial knowledge, financial behavior, financial attitude, social influence, wealth strategies, and retirement differently. I've tried to combine them and try to make a one paper that is going right now in the generation. So thank you. This was my paper. If someone have any questions, you can ask me.